Fueling Africa's future inside the Trans-Saharan Gas Pipeline project. As the conflict in Ukraine rages on, European gas prices have skyrocketed. Russia has already stopped and reduced gas supplies to countries such as Poland, Bulgaria, and Finland due to the ongoing dispute over energy payments. Consequently, Europe is now actively seeking contingency energy supplies, and due to its close proximity, Africa has emerged as a natural choice to replace Russian oil and gas. It's widely recognized that Africa possesses some of the world's most extensive gas reserves. Africa's abundant oil and gas reserves are essential to promote economic and social development, and in the long run, they are projected to fuel growth across the continent. In the medium term, African countries could provide a viable interim solution for natural gas as Europe strives to reduce its dependence and reliance on Moscow well before 2030. However, their capacity to fill the gap, which could require anywhere between 50 to 190 BCM annually, and which Russia has supplied, is dependent on various factors such as adequate energy infrastructure and the capital necessary to build it. As of 2021, Africa's crude reserves stood at 125.3 billion barrels, while its natural gas reserves amounted to 625 trillion cubic feet. Trans-Sahara. Luckily for Europe, Africa is currently home to several ongoing and upcoming oil and gas projects, each of which carries enormous potential for the continent's development. One such project is the Trans-Saharan Gas Pipeline, an infrastructure that spans an impressive 4,128 kilometers. Once completed, the Trans-Saharan Gas Pipeline will have the capacity to transport 30 billion cubic meters or BCM of natural gas annually. The pipeline will link Wari, a city in Nigeria, to Hassi R'Mel, a major gas processing center in Algeria, via Niger. This ambitious undertaking will connect Nigeria's rich natural gas fields to both regional African markets and European markets through the Mediterranean coast. The recent Declaration of Niamey, signed during the third edition of the Economic Community of West African States Mining and Petroleum Forum in Niamey on February 16, 2022, has provided renewed momentum for the project, paving the way for its construction to resume. With this development, Europe will be able to access the vast natural gas resources of 3 African countries. What now seems to be a Europe savior? How this all started? The Trans-Saharan Pipeline has been in the works since the 1970s, and on January 14, 2002, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, or NNPC, and Algerian National Oil and Gas Company, Sonatrach, signed a memorandum of understanding to initiate preparations for the project. In June 2005, the NNPC and Sonatrach enlisted Penspin Limited to conduct a feasibility study on the pipeline. The study was completed in September 2006, and it concluded that the pipeline was both technically and economically feasible and reliable. The NNPC and Sonatrach agreed to proceed with the draft Memorandum of Understanding and the joint venture agreement on February 20, 2009. Then, on July 3, 2009, the energy ministers of Nigeria, Niger, and Algeria signed an intergovernmental agreement on the pipeline in Abuja. Following the 2009 meeting, there were no further updates on the pipeline's development for several years, but it was in 2019 to 2020 when people started talking about it again. The pipeline would connect Nigeria to Algeria and be 4,400 kilometers long. This would extend the Trans-Nigeria pipeline from Kano to Algeria. In February 2022, an agreement was made by Niger, Algeria, and Nigeria to continue building the pipeline. They want to use it to supply gas to Europe through pipeline connections in Algeria. During a meeting, Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources expressed interest in using the pipeline to become an alternative gas supplier to the EU. In June 2022, Algeria, Niger, and Nigeria had discussions on the pipeline project. It presents a chance for Europe to get gas from different sources because of the conflict in Ukraine. On July 28, 2022, Algeria, Niger, and Nigeria signed a second Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, to build the pipeline. They plan to get financing from the European Union. Provided the kind of complicated project it is, let us run through some of its technicalities. The Trans-Saharan Gas Project, a monumental undertaking that would connect Nigeria to Europe through a pipeline network spanning over 4,400 kilometers, is projected to have an annual capacity of up to 30 billion cubic meters of natural gas. This ambitious project is expected to have a pipeline diameter ranging from 48 to 56 inches, or 1,220 millimeters to 1,420 millimeters, making it one of the largest gas pipelines in the world. The initial timeline for the project aimed to make the pipeline operational by 2015, with a total investment of approximately $10 billion. An additional $3 billion investment was earmarked for the construction of gas gathering centers. Despite the formidable challenges faced by this project, including security concerns and funding issues, the Trans-Saharan Gas Project remains a symbol of ambition and innovation in the energy sector. If successful, the Trans-Saharan Gas Project could unlock a new era of economic growth and cooperation between African nations and Europe. The sheer scale and complexity of this project necessitate a multifaceted approach that accounts for a diverse range of factors, including environmental impact, local community concerns, and economic viability. And most importantly, the stakeholder who put the foot forward to operate the multidimensional project. The partnership between Nigeria's NNPC, Algeria's Sonatrach, and the Republic of Niger was responsible for the construction and operation of the Trans-Saharan Gas Project. Initially, NNPC and Sonatrach were set to own 90% of the shares, with Niger owning the remaining 10%. However, there has been interest from other international players, including Russia's Gazprom, France's Total Energies, Italy's Enispa, and India's GAIL. Algeria's Energy Minister, Shakib Khalil, emphasized that potential partners must bring more than just money to the table. There is a need for expertise and knowledge in the industry, which could help improve the project's chances of success. The energy ministers of Algeria and Nigeria have indicated that they would prefer to limit partnerships to companies that can bring significant value to the project. Ultimately, the success of the project will depend on the ability of the partners to collaborate effectively and navigate the challenges that arise during the construction and operation of the pipeline. And rightly predicted, the challenges that came ahead were as massive as realizing the idea of laying this Trans-Sahara pipeline. In 2017, Nigeria and Morocco agreed to build a gas pipeline that would run through 11 West African countries, ending in Morocco and Spain. This new pipeline is called the Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline and is a challenger to the Trans-Saharan Gas Project. The Trans-Saharan Gas Project had aimed to create a pipeline that would transport natural gas from Nigeria through Niger, Algeria, and into Europe. However, the project faced several challenges, including security issues and funding problems. Despite the competition, there was still discussions on the revival of the Trans-Saharan Gas Project between Algeria, Niger, and Nigeria. It was uncertain whether the project will ultimately succeed or if the Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline will dominate the market. Meanwhile, opposition to the Trans-Saharan Gas Project has arisen due to concerns from groups such as the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta. They argue that until the exploitation of the Niger Delta and its people is addressed, any investment in the project will be a waste. The Niger Delta is an area of Nigeria with vast oil and gas reserves, but local communities have suffered from environmental damage and a lack of development despite this. This opposition highlights the importance of addressing local community concerns in large-scale energy projects to avoid resistance and opposition. The Niger pipeline is a big deal for Africa and Europe. Nigeria has a lot of gas that it can sell to make money. The pipeline will increase Nigeria's revenue and its national oil company will own half of it. Niger will also benefit from the project by supplying its own gas, which will create important revenues for this landlocked country. Algeria is important because it connects Africa and Europe, and its oil and gas company will own the other half of the pipeline. Europe wants to buy gas from this pipeline to reduce its dependence on Russia. The project will supply 30 billion cubic meters of natural gas and LNG, which will help Europe reduce its reliance on Russian gas. That's all for now. Thanks for tuning in to our latest video. We hope you enjoyed getting a closer look at the incredible project that we're looking into getting in shape as soon as possible. But wait, there's more. If you're as obsessed with mega projects around the globe as we are, You won't want to miss out on our upcoming videos about magnanimous projects around the world. From travel destinations to the marvels of civil engineering and everything in between, we've got you covered with in-depth analyses and expert opinions. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you won't want to miss a single video. And as always, we love hearing from our viewers, so leave your feedback and suggestions in the comments section below. Let's rev up those engines and hit the road.